The Ford Maverick is sold out. Welcome to episode 5, the Microchips Strike Back. I may have been misunderstood or miscommunicated in the last video, so this is going to fill in everything that needs to be filled in. So we're going to be talking about how the Ford Maverick got sold out, why the Ford Maverick got sold out, and what this means for you, whether you're a current order holder or whether you're shopping the Maverick and thinking about getting it. Well, there's still hope, and it's actually the time to strike back. So now's the time to find a dealer, and I'm going to get right into that. I'm going to be explaining everything that needs to be explained so you know what's going on. So you're at the right place, because not only am I here to help, I'm Johnny at Johnny's Car Care and Reviews, but the community is here to help as well. You'll see that when you drop a comment. I'll do my absolute best to get to you, and if not, well, the community will hopefully and certainly help out. Sometimes I do a video and actually so many comments come in that I can't get to them all without not creating videos for a few weeks, and well, I can't do that because I want to continue to help. So I just ask the community, help out when people drop comments, as you have been doing. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the comments, and I really do appreciate when you trust me with your question, and I do certainly hope to get to it. Now let's just put the pedal to the metal. I just want to say, before we jump right in, quite possibly at the end of the video, if there's still time, if the video isn't too lengthy explaining all this, I will show you what goes on here on the weekends during family time, because it's Saturday morning. So I want to wish you all a very good weekend, and maybe put a little footage at the end to show you what we get up to. So thank you so much for watching. You'll have information that'll be really helpful throughout the video. So if you do find it useful, please hit that like button and do subscribe so you don't miss anything. So this is episode 5, the Microchips Strike Back, and I'm going to be telling you how you can strike back, meaning what do you need to do to get a Maverick, and what should you expect. So let's just jump right in right now. Okay, so in the last video, what was I up to? Well, it was a Wednesday, the 26th. The deadline was coming up on the 27th for the Maverick to be sold out, and I want to get a video out there really to help people out. And this, I'm going to explain this quickly because it's going to help understand the whole situation of what's going on with, not just Ford Maverick orders, but this is the case no matter most hot models on the market today. You might come across a dealer that's going to throw some markups at you, and you might only find out when the vehicle shows up, and that's awful. You wait. Some places you're waiting 3 months. Some places, there's some models you're going to wait 2.5 to 3 years for, and that's not just at Ford, trust me. For example, a Toyota RAV4 Prime, most places I think you're looking at about, well, I know at some places for sure that I have confirmed info on, you're looking at 2.5 to 3 years to get a model, because a dealer that has about 1,000 unit sales per year are getting about 10 to 15 per year. So they're up to a third year of ordering. Now, what's going on with the Maverick? I'll tell you straight up. Last video, I was trying to communicate that between meeting that Thursday deadline and getting the right dealer, the importance is on getting the right dealer. I'm going to tell you what you need to get from a dealer and what will be the signs of a good dealer. So let's just jump right on that topic right away, because it's the most important. So let's start with the most important and also finish with an important must-know info. So here's the thing. If you don't want to get fooled, when you go into your dealer, maybe one of the first questions you need to ask is if you can purchase the Maverick at MSRP and if you can have a signed offer. Now, what did this mean with the deadline? It's not a be-all, end-all deadline. Actually, this deadline is Ford being really, I think, really good with us, the customers, because they're letting us know what's going on so that, you can't have the wool pulled over your eyes by a dealer. The information's out there. The deadline for a 2022 Maverick was Thursday at 10 p.m. Now, if you got your order in, your dealer will have time to convert that until February 2nd. But here's the thing. This is why it was more important to get the dealer right than the deadline on time. Let's say you just rush to the nearest dealer. What they'll often do, it seems, some dealers, is they're going to print off your order sheet. They're going to have you sign your order sheet, which is just confirming that you're going to take it. They're going to take a deposit. And we've seen it with the Bronco, and we're starting to see it with the Maverick. Some dealers, when they show up, will try to pull a $5,000, $10,000, or $15,000 markup on you. That's why it's more important to get the right dealer than to have made that deadline. Making that deadline didn't mean necessarily that you're guaranteed a 2022, and it didn't necessarily mean, and certainly does not mean, that you're going to get it quickly. Let me explain. Allotments, how they work, what it means to get your Maverick and how much time it takes really depends on a dealer's allotments. Over the course of a year, they're going to get a certain amount of allotments, and those will be spread across various months. Now, sometimes they won't get any Mavericks, for example, showing up one month, or very few, and another month they can have quite a few more. But at the end of the year, they're going to get an amount that represents a multitude of factors. And I won't get into all those because I've covered it in different videos. But where you are on their list decides how long it takes. And when it becomes time for it to be your turn, well, it depends if your Maverick's actually buildable. Otherwise, some Mavericks might pass ahead of you. So certain dealers that don't have far more orders than allotments, you could get a Maverick within 3 to 4 months. So if you made that deadline and you're at a dealer with very few orders ahead of you, you could be getting your Maverick in, let's say, 4 months. But for the huge majority of people and dealers, you're gonna get your Maverick, or if you ordered it the 26th or the 27th, you're likely getting your Maverick 6 months, 5, 6, 7 months down the road. So that's why I was trying to communicate that finding the right dealer is more important. How do you know you've found the right dealer? Well, first of all, they're going to sign off on an offer. Purchase offer or lease offer. They're going to sign it. The sales manager is going to sign that sheet. It's going to have your interest rate and your MSRP. Now, here's the complicated thing. And it's not that complicated, but because I'm going to explain it really, really clearly. If you ordered a 2022 Maverick before the deadline, great news. So, you will be able to, if your dealership puts in the paperwork. It's not really paperwork now. Of course, it's done online. It's just a direct demand. They can protect your MSRP price as well as the interest rate if you've made that deadline. Now, with Ford saying that they're sold out as of now, both Maverick powertrains are sold out. The hybrid has been declared sold out since November 15th. So if you've ordered a hybrid, the 16th of November, or an EcoBoost, anytime late January, end of January for the rest of the year, a dealership cannot possibly, there's no way they can promise you MSRP because they can't protect it. They can't later on manually put the price to the original price you ordered at and then expect to get the difference paid back to them from Ford. And they have no way of protecting that interest rate. So that's what making the deadline actually protected you. That was the benefit of making that deadline. So if you already have an order placed and you're from, the 27th or earlier, or if you're a hybrid and you're from November 15th or earlier, you can absolutely expect and, demand that you get your original MSRP and you get your original interest rate, because that's what you signed up for. And that's why I say it's important to have a signed lease offer or purchase offer. Now, if a dealer, when you walk in and your first or second question is, will I be able to have that lease offer or purchase offer signed? And if they're like, no, absolutely not. Well, if it's for a 2023 Maverick, right now that's completely normal, but you need them ideally to sign off, to be open to signing off saying whatever the internet MSRP and internet promotion is, that's what they're gonna sell you the Maverick for. Well, if they sign off on that, you're good to go. Last thing you want is to wait 6-7 months, have your Maverick show up, and be told you have to pay thousands over MSRP. So if you order now, what does it mean? It means that when you put in your order, if the dealer sends it off to Ford, the factory, it's going to send a message back in the internal system saying, no go, not accepted. Well, at least they'd have that kind of time stamped. But, a good dealer, what they're going to do is they're going to have an Excel spreadsheet because, that's online, and, losing a file folder, salesman dropping the file folder and all the order getting mixed up no longer becomes an issue, a major issue of concern. So they'll put you, of course, your paper copy in order. They should also load up an Excel spreadsheet, and a good dealership is also going to treat all orders fairly. It's going to be about when you put your deposit down at their dealership. So now's the time to strike back. This is important, really important. Now's the time to find the right dealer, do what we've talked about already, put a deposit down, and wait. Because as of, whether it's June or July, as soon as order banks actually open up for the 2023 model, dealers will have collected, most dealers will certainly have collected a list of clients. Hopefully you'll be doing business with a dealership that's going to put them in based on the order that they got that, purchase in, the purchase demand in. And they're going to drop them all in the morning or afternoon of the day that the factory is back to accepting orders. Now that'll be for 2023, so you should not expect to get, if you order now, don't expect to get your Maverick until I'd say November, maybe even December. And the later you're watching this video, well, the more months you can add on, because people are going to continue to buy Mavericks, and dealerships, trust me, are going to continue to take deposits. And good dealers though will inform people you're not getting a 2022 unless a small miracle happens, and it's going to be a 2023 most likely. Now, what's that small miracle? Well, I do have a sheet saying that EcoBoosts are, they're you could say they're sold out until July. So the date that the sheet gives is July. So come August, are they going to start maybe, if they have the space for it, pass a few that are already on the list? Well, more reason to get on the list as soon as possible. But how did this all happen? Why did this all happen? Now, let's talk about that. So, since 2020, we've had all sorts of issues, from transport issues that are complicated to resolve, lacking things as simple as plastic, vinyl, rubber, glass, and the big one, microchips. And here's the thing, this is pretty much confirmed by what Jim Farley said, talking about how microchips needed to be focused on high profit models. I'm going to assume that means the F-150. It wasn't blatantly said, but I think, it only makes perfect sense that F-150s need to continue being, pumped out. It's important to Ford, obviously, to continue to be the #1 sold truck in the US, I think for 46 years, and in Canada, it must be nearing the 60-year mark. That is impressive, and that's not a title that any manufacturer would want to lose. Also, F-150s, you've got, all your business clients that, some of them you've had, for more than one generation. You don't want to lose them to another brand because you just don't have anything available. So microchips obviously need to go towards the F-150, and I think it's actually fantastic that Ford nonetheless made the Maverick this year. And they've, they didn't just make, 10,000 for the whole year, therefore kind of getting all sorts of people to put down a deposit and then wait 3-4 years. That's not what's going on. They'll have made a good number. And in the comments section, because some have asked, when's Ford going to make a second factory for this Maverick to get production? The issue isn't the volume of the factory itself. And actually, the factory itself stopped making Fusions. So there's room at that factory to make a whole lot more Mavericks. Running full speed, could probably pull, if they did, they also make the Bronco Sport there. They can probably pull about 300,000 units per year. So if it's an even spread, 150,000 units each. Now, the Maverick has incredible demand, so they could always, do a 60-40 split or a 70-30 split, but that factory can definitely produce good quality units. I absolutely loved the fit and finish of the Fusion. Great vehicle. And you have to realize, this isn't, it's the second edition of the Maverick. This is the first edition. When you're making something completely new, and even I myself, back in March when this was not yet declared that it'd be sold, it was just based on some spy photos from a commercial Ford was working on. I said, I'm certain this is coming to our market, and I think it'll be a huge success if it has a 5-foot box, and if it has anything less, well, there'll be less success. Boy, was I ever wrong. I even made a video saying I was completely wrong. this thing has been a huge success. And how can you expect Ford to say, well, a small truck that no one is, quite making at the moment, how can they guess in advance it's going to be a huge success? Because when you're planning, when making contracts with suppliers, you kind of, you don't want to play it too safe and you don't want to play it too risky. Imagine if with the Ford EcoSport or the Ford Fiesta, Ford would have said, you know what, from all our contractors, let's order 500,000 of everything from our suppliers. This is going to be a huge success. And then, well, they don't sell all that many Fiestas, or they don't sell nearly as many EcoSports. Well, what do? You lose a ton of money. And if you want to continue providing a service, providing something for the public, you got to stay afloat. You got to keep your business running, so you don't just assume everything's going to be an absolute home run. And the Ford Maverick has been an absolute home run. I've driven it so many times now. I've driven every model, both powertrains. The test drives, I love to whip things into the corners, and I can say that the computer is very good at working to keep the vehicle stable. If you go into a corner really quickly, then the truck will on its own, somewhat brake that front inner wheel to keep the weight shift to a minimal. That means you get more safety, more traction on each wheel, and a whole lot more comfort, because this isn't a truck you're going to get flopped around in. It's nice, low, and wide, so the feel to it is great if you're not looking for that big, massive truck feel, but it does have a squared off hood. So kind of reminds me of how I would have felt back in the day had I lowered my Ranger. But the interior cabin space is huge. Now, I've done videos to show you that, squeezed real tight, you can have 3 men in the back seat, but 2 men in the back seat, ample space, knees, shoulders. This is a hot model, and that hybrid, I really do like how the transmission functions. Now, I'll let you, I'm not going to talk more about it. I'll let you, if you're curious, watch my review videos on the drive. But this is a hot model. And within no time at all, they had 100,000 reservations. How do you pay your suppliers? How do you make these contracts in advance, just assuming it's going to be a complete success? You don't know, Did the Ranger get this much fanfare? No. Did the EcoSport, which I think, Ford thought this, a small SUV, this thing's it would sell like crazy. And guess what? They're not even making them anymore. And yes, one comment that I got is with Ford closing down all those car factories, why aren't they making the Maverick elsewhere? Well, it comes down to microchips, and it comes down to the fact that the factory that they're making it at has the capacity to provide enough Mavericks, but it's shortages that are the real problem. And if you don't want to, some people are going to say, oh, well, it's sold out. There's nothing to do. No longer do I need to do research on the Maverick. No longer do I need to look into buying a Maverick. I'll wait until it's actually either one at the dealership, and that's not going to happen. Inventory at dealerships, we're far from that. And secondly, if you wait until we can actually order them again, you're looking at probably June or July for when you can drop in a 2023 order. And by then, we could be up to a year wait to get a Maverick. At certain dealerships, of course, it'll be worse. Certain dealerships, it'll be not as bad. But what we can hope for is that microchips actually become a little bit more available, so that for 2023, Maverick production doubles or triples. I can definitely see it doubling without an issue. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Ford makes 150,000 Mavericks in 2023. But for that to happen, we need this whole microchip situation to, hopefully get resolved by microchip factories popping up in the US or Canada, but hopefully close to home. Specifically, it'd be great if the automobile industry, a manufacturer themselves, have their own microchip production, and then their surplus they sell. But we'll just have to wait to see all that. See, what computer company is going to make microchips. Will they make extra for the automobile industry? But that's a story I'm going to be keeping close to heart. And of course, I'll be keeping it on this channel. So I hope this clears everything up. I do really appreciate everyone's help in the comments section. If you've made it this far, please comment finisher. It really lets me know how my format is going, helps me judge a few things. I do appreciate all the help that I've gotten. Thank you so much for all the subscribers. You've helped feed and dress that poodle. And I'll just show you what probably I do most weekends. I get into a little trouble with the four-wheeler, or I go off-roading, slight off-roading, or just wonderful drives with the Bronco. I absolutely love how that thing drives. So I'm off to it. I wish you all a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you get more cars and more power real soon. If it's your thing, I hope you get to put the pedal to the metal. Take care, and until next time.